Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cutshield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cutshield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cutshield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got the man, Russ Christopher. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
Oh, living the dream. Ready to get the night over with. I got another pod later tonight, and
Awesome.
it's going to be quite interesting. I don't know too many of the other guys that are that are following the show. They're going to be like, why does he have this person talking about this subject on this podcast? So
They're probably going to say the same thing about me being on here.
no, I don't think
why
so.
do you why do you have this old ass T3 player on here?
Well, we go way back. We played against each other for several years. You being from the Chicago area, me being in the center of Detroit and Chicago. So I have a rivalry with both of you guys, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty cool. So, you reached out to me. I know we had already talked a little bit about it, but the episode that we shot just had a little too many F-bombs, a little too many S-bombs. So we couldn't really quite use it. So we brought you back on to kind of like not do a reshoot, but to catch up.
Yeah, I like it. Just clean it up a little bit.
Clean it up. We'll catch up, and we'll put some mayo on it, and we'll call it good.
Perfect.
Yeah. So Russ, why don't you tell us what's new with you right now? You're not playing in my HOD this season. I think it sounds like last year we had some conversation about you taking a break from competitive hockey as a player in the MyHod division, but you're going to be doing some more traveling to some of the bigger tournaments to keep your skill level going. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
Last year, I've been telling guys for years that I was going to quote unquote retire from Miha for forever. And then you just keep getting dragged in because it's the game and we all love it. And I love, what Staple built back in the day was unbelievable. I don't really want to talk bad about the league because I absolutely love playing, but it was time for me to kind of slow down, step away. I'm almost 40 now. So playing T3 is just getting fast. So last year, I was able to take over the Windy City Syndicate roster and kind of captain that squad, which was awesome. John Holobiak started that. Nick Villarreal was in charge for a while, Alex Music, and then myself. And I got to transfer that to Ryan Nakutis now, and they're doing great. They're starting to win tournaments, so it was good. I had a lot of stuff going on with Blood and Feathers when I was with them, and I actually started my own organization now. We can get into that in a minute, but there were some issues that are going on in Miha that I didn't find great anymore, and I just needed to kind of step away for a season. I told the boys, like, if you need help running a team, if you need help finding players, I'll do whatever I can to help you guys. But like for me, if you need me to sub, I'll come. If you don't, I'm out this year, which is fine. Ended up, Ryan got the schedule that was pretty good. I told them I was back in, but they had already basically put somebody in my place. So who the hell am I to say, oh, well, that's my spot now, So they did their thing and I'm proud of them and they're doing great. They have some new guys in the mix, which is always awesome just to grow the game. And I sat out this year and I think it was for a good reason. So it's all kind of working out, but I absolutely love that league still, everybody in it. I still talk to majority of the guys in Detroit, you guys, my Buffalo friends and all the guys around Chicago, Wisconsin guys that are now getting involved. So the game's growing and that's all that you can really ask for. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you're the type of player that no matter how many times you played against each other, we always have a great time afterwards.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Just getting out of town is the best part.
Nowhere have I heard a negative comment about you, which is very, very rare. And especially, I mean, I know our sport is very welcoming, very endearing. Everybody gets along with everybody. But you always have those one or two guys that you always hear somebody say something negative about them. Doesn't matter who it is, right? But with you, I've never heard a negative comment, which in and of itself is attributed to how well you're well liked. I mean, everybody calls you Uncle Russ on the floor. Wherever you go, like, Uncle Russ, where are you at?
Uncle Russ, or now it's Dad or Coach.
Yeah.
For a long time, I was unofficially known as the mayor of Miha.
Right.
I don't even know where that came from. It's just hysterical. I think Ryan Miller from Buffalo actually called me he's just came up to me one day. He's like, oh, look, the mayor of Miha is here. And it just stuck. And I was like, what? I'm like, what does it even mean? Like, I don't even know. Like, what? I don't even know half the other guys in the league. And then, there's just goofy nicknames, but a lot of the guys are starting to call me Dad or Coach or something like that. And I love it. But I appreciate it. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can grab a couple of the old guys and they could have a couple bad things to say about me. Probably more the refs. I know for a fact I wasn't nice to Denny or Daniel a couple times, but even now I still talk to them and they're great guys too. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the new organization that you're currently running, you're operating. I'm curious to hear a little bit more about what is it, Roller Society, right?
Yes. So it all started as a social media page. I basically was going to start highlighting players in the game. There's other pages, Roller Dad News and Wheel Talk, stuff like that. Those guys are awesome. And they highlight the game so well, just as a whole, all of the events, everything they do is awesome. But I noticed that when I'm going to these tournaments, whether it be State Wars or Narch or Wish Cup, Tours, whatever it is, I'm seeing so many players that I recognize, and I've been in the game long enough where, you see somebody, they walk past, you give them the little head nod, and you just keep going. And then you ask somebody like, hey, who is that guy? I see him everywhere. He plays on this team. He plays on that team. Like, who is he? And somebody says, I don't know. Or they're like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. He plays for this. Oh, okay. So I got talking to one of my buddies out in Colorado, and I was like, man, what if there was a page that just highlighted the players? So when you go to these tournaments and you see these guys that are always there, you could recognize them, or you could approach them and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, or I'm Russ, this is Ben, yada, yada, yada. And you just start a conversation. You're just more comfortable. And what that does in my head, it just builds our little tight-knit community, because it's roller hockey. None of us are getting paid for this. None of us are doing it, for any type of profit. Whether you're playing pro or whether you're playing a club level, 35s, 45s, doesn't matter. We're not going out there to make money. We're going out there because we genuinely love the game. So why not build that culture in the community and stuff like that? And like you said, I guess people like me. I don't know why, but I am pretty well liked around every league. I don't know why, again, but it's awesome. And I like to stay, I fly under the radar. I don't like saying, oh yeah, I got this guy and I got that. No, just, hey, how are you? Shake hands, walk away, do your thing. So it was kind of just a platform where guys can just get to know each other and build the community and make it stronger. Then a couple of the guys around here were like, listen, why don't you start your own organization and get some sponsors behind you? All these people, like, why don't you just elaborate on that? And then it's yours. Like, we could just do this. And there's guys around here that absolutely 1,000% deserve to play at a higher level. And a lot of these pro teams and a lot of the AA teams or platinum teams, stuff like that, they'll pull guys from college. They'll pull guys from somewhere else. We have in the Chicagoland area probably 2 full teams of solid A, AA, and some even pro guys that always get overlooked, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
So I sat down with a couple of the boys and I said, listen, I'm going to fire this up, but I don't want it to be mine. I want it to be ours. I don't want to make money off this. I'm going to sell some merch, try to pay for league fees, try to just alleviate all these costs, because let's be honest, stuff's getting expensive. Sticks are expensive, gear's expensive, tournaments are getting expensive. When you split it between guys, plus an Airbnb, plus travel, like it's a good chunk of change to just go out of town and play roller hockey.
Yeah.
But what I thought of was start an organization, start a company. I'm going to sell some merch. All the profits that I get are going back to the guys that are playing for me, whether it be we actually got Ringster involved to be a wheel sponsor. A friend of mine owns a company called Ultimate Autographs. It's so cool. They do autographed merchandise, like authentic football helmets and stuff like that. Okay. And it's great. So we got those guys behind us so we can help them. They can help us. And we're just going to make some jerseys and go play some tournaments and try to get some of these guys at a higher level that deserve it. On the other side, there's really no kids program. Dan Costanza does amazing with IRHL. My son, Nick, actually plays for him. I love it. But I even told him I want to jump on board with him and let's get like even a small kids league or kids program or, a learn to play something that can involve these kids more, because we have so much ice hockey here that it's always overlooked in the roller world. And then these kids come out and they have a blast. So eventually that's the goal there. And then because I do work for the owners of the Blackhawks at their liquor distribution, I would love to get those guys involved with something, because as of right now, we have the Golden Knights, and these kids are running around in Golden Knights jerseys, which is great. I love their organization. All the Palmer guys, the Beta guys, they're great guys, but we're in the Blackhawks' backyard.
Right.
We got to get them involved somehow and just grow their game, grow our game, grow their community, stuff like that. And there's a lot, I think, that they don't know that exists. And I'm kind of that guy that I want to be that guy that pushes it to them to see if they can get involved. And if not, then we just keep going how we are and try and win some tournaments. you know?
Yeah, and it's very similar to like what the Ducks have going on out in Corona, with the rinks, just getting their logo down, getting to get more people involved in roller. I know that's something that I'm trying to work on myself over here on this on the west side, because inline hockey is dead on the west side. But there's tons of ice. There's an opportunity, to grow the game, and we're gonna give it a chance here. But it's gonna take some time.
It's definitely not going to be an overnight
10-year
thing
project. Yeah.
Within the next couple of years, I'd like to get the Hawks involved, but I want to build something that I can present to them and say, hey, listen, this is mine. I want you guys involved. Let's do it. And just see where it goes. And if they say no, they say no. But if they say yes, all it does is help. So, and especially now's the time. We just got Connor Bedard, Pat Maroon's playing on this Blackhawks team. And as everybody knows, they're huge inline guys. Garrett Ross, I believe, plays for, was he playing for Cutshield?
Yeah,
I know he played for Detroit Smoke and Miha, which is crazy that like ex pros are playing Miha now, but which is great. I think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. But another Black Hawk or Ice Hog at that point.
He actually played in Saginaw too with the Saginaw Spirit. That was how that's how I first followed his career, was when I was living in Saginaw. He was playing for the Spirit, and man, I fell in love with the kid then.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
he's awesome. But having like I said, just having Bedard be the young guy and Maroon be the old veteran, and they're both still wheeling in pro roller is huge. And I just feel like around here, not a lot of people, including the Blackhawks, really know about that, or they do, and they just don't have somebody to get them involved. And I would love to be that person. Yeah. So that's basically it. And then eventually I'd like to open a rink, but that's the huge dream. But that'll involve some golf simulators and a rink, and we'll go have some fun. Maybe play a little pickleball. Who doesn't love pickleball?
I know, right? Yeah,
that's a weird thing.
Yeah, I know that there's going to be a new rink out in Modesto, California, opening up in 2026.
Oh boy!
So that one looks like that's going to be a pretty nice facility. So
I just got to play at the rinks in for Narch Winter Nationals.
Yeah.
And it was a cool experience, considering I've been playing this game for 33 years. I don't even know anymore. But I finally got to play at the rinks. It was awesome. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, I heard that facility is really nice. I mean, I hear there's some upgrades that they could do, but at the same time, what rink doesn't have upgrades that they can do?
The experience is awesome. If you've never been, you got to go.
Yeah. No, one of those ones where I've never played Narch, I've never played State Wars, I've never done tours. But because I've always just done MIHA, MLRH, and just kind of stuck to the Midwest roots here.
Yeah.
And, but who knows? I'm trying to get myself back into at least one more tournament run. So
right.
It's that way, because my son, he's 5. He's like, Dad, I want to see you play, and I'm like, no, you don't. And he's like, no, Dad, I want to see you play. And so I was like,
just make sure when he sees you play, you actually give it your all. Because my son comes every week when I play men's league. And I'll just kind of sit back like at our own blue line and be the breakout guy, and then it transfers over to him, and I'll watch him play, and I'm like, oh my God, like, would this kid please just take a stride, please? Right. And my girlfriend will look at me and just be like, that's you, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so only bring him to tournaments where I'm actually like skating and basically trying to die out there because I need to get the puck. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man, especially, if your son gets into the game and you could skate with him. It's the coolest feeling in the world. Yeah,
no, we're having a skating party for his birthday this weekend, and awesome. He's super excited, and that's pretty much all he talks about. Like, Dad, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go skating. When I took him skating for the first time, took him ice skating for the first time a couple weeks ago. I get him all laced up, ready to go, and I go to put my skates on, and I turn around and the little bastard's outside skating already without me. He's out there all by himself. Like
Dad, can you tie my skates so I can go out here before you?
He's just like gone. I look at my wife and I'm like, "Where's Luke?" And she's like, "He's already out there." And I go, "What are you talking about? He's already out there." And kids, no fear. So
perfect.
That's what you want to see, and what So I think my daughter's going to be just as fearless too.
Good. Get her on some skates too, because now these women have something to push for.
Mm-hmm. They do, and with awesome. the new Freeze Invitational at State Wars, you're going to see a cash prize for the women now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's about time, and the women's game hasn't really. It's kind of I feel like it's been neglected a little bit, but there's some talented women out there.
Very, very talented. I had the pleasure of standing behind some of them when I was with Blood and Feathers, and these girls, and I'm not joking you, they are the easiest team to deal with. You'd think like a group of 10 or 12 girls would just be drama and bickering. Nope. It is the easiest thing. They all get along. They all stayed in the house together. They all play together. When they yell at each other, they yell back. When they help each other, they help back. It's crazy. It was the easiest team to just stand behind and
I feel like that's a hockey thing, though. Like when you got a group of girls that are into hockey, that play hockey, then all the cattiness kind of tends to disappear.
A little, I think so.
Yeah, but then when you get you get the group of volleyball players together, a group of tennis players together, it's like, oh my god, basketball is probably the worst.
Yeah,
so. That and probably hockey and wrestling would probably be the two sports that I would venture that don't have that cattiness, because with hockey you just beat the crap out of each other. With wrestling you just go out and beat the crap out of each other too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun though. Like there's girls that are young, there's girls that are older that play, and they all get along. But when it's time for battle and they're laced up and ready to go, you see like this like war face almost, and you're like, oh my god, like that girl was so nice like 5 minutes ago, and now she's ready to rip somebody's head off. It's like, hey, that girl's like 16. Can you like maybe ease up? And she's like,
no.
Okay. All right, cool. You're doing great. Here, let me get the door for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you don't, heads will roll.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid of like 7 of the girls I coached. Legitimately, I'm terrified.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. So, all right. Well, so then what is next up on the agenda? Because now you've got a busy plate ahead of you as well.
I think we're actually trying to get about 4 teams to go to Wish Cup. Mm-hmm. I think that's our first. So between, I want to say March 30th and August 3rd, or maybe 5th. I don't know when State Wars ends. I'm pretty sure there's like 4 or 5 tournaments within that 2 months, and we're trying. So I'm trying to get rosters together now for a club. All of our guys are coming back this year. Senior A, we've moved some guys up to double A. We're going to try and get a double A team going. There's another senior A team. The Chicago Drive guys have come over, and they're going to represent Roller Society, and I'm sure you know some of those guys. When you see the roster, they're great dudes, lots of talent.
You got Ben Campbell on there?
Ben is not right now. However, I believe he is the next in line for goalie, depending on what their goalie does.
Okay.
So I want Soupy involved with this as much as I possibly can. The guy's awesome.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him on the pod for a minute, but every time that we exchange email, he doesn't check his emails that often. So
he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I just remember his Campbell suit pads way back in the day, and I've always wanted to talk to him about that. He's
a character for sure, but he's one hell of a guy. And I actually saw him for about 3 seconds at the rink. I think he played the game after me, so I saw him walking to the locker room, and that was it. So
same here. And I said, check your email. I sent you an email.
All right, next time I see him, I'll let him know. Like, hey, Grove City's trying to get you on the pod, and
he's
I'll let you know what he says as long as it's good.
Yeah, Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, it will. He's the best.
So, yeah.
But yeah, all those guys are on board with this whole roller society thing, which is huge because a lot of those guys are some of the better talent that we have around here. Not to downplay my guys, but it is what it is. Some of those guys played at Lindenwood, and some of them played D1, whereas a lot of our guys just worked their asses off. Showed a lot of leadership. Our guys did really well. Justin Humphrey, actually, who plays on the what are the Saints called now?
The Mid-Michigan Saints.
Yeah, but they changed their name.
They did?
Yeah, I'm losing it. I lost it. Whatever. It's the Saints. It's always going to be the Saints. Those guys. Well, Justin's one of the captains. He showed his leadership. And
because he's not with Lansing, is he? Lansing Street Sharks?
No. He's with
still the same.
Justin's playing Maiha with Saints, but man, I can't think of their new name. I can see every single player on the roster, but I can't see their name. But whatever. I ended up making him the captain of one of the A team, and he put together a killer roster last year. Nasher and Cody Wheeler's team, the Heat, ended up getting the best of us the last couple of years. Actually, the first year there was a tornado that came through Nashville, so there's a little asterisk near their championship. But Justin's taken these guys and put together some pretty good rosters. We got second in Senior A last year at State Wars, which was massive. I think I was more nervous coaching these guys than they were, and they had to play. So it's all that. We have some new guys coming up. We have some of the older guys playing with, and we're just going to play Wish Cup. I think some of the boys are going to Tours because Tours Nationals, I believe, is in St. Louis this year, which is huge for us. And then obviously State Wars, we're going to give everything we can to that one. So yeah, cool. That's what's lined up so far. And then all the local tournaments that we have in Chicago, we're putting rosters in and just try and build the brand, try to build the organization, and then just, keep it a good culture and figure it out from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know State Wars is in Detroit this year, so that's going to be cool. I'm going to try. I'm pretty sure my vacation time gets re-upped right around that time, so I might be able to talk the wife into letting me go for a day or two. So fingers crossed. Yeah, it'd be
great to see you in person. Every time I'm playing a tournament, I'm asking if you're going to be there.
Yeah,
and you got work or something.
You're texting me like, "Hey man, I'm going to be here," and I'm like, "I'm not scheduled to be there," right. But I haven't made it to a tournament yet this year. Again, podcasts killing me, but I'm actually starting to do a new endeavor with the ice hockey program over here. So this is the first time that I've done ice. So it looks like I'm gonna get back behind the bench and trying to coach. So
there you go. I love that.
Happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Perfect.
Nothing set in stone yet. I just mentioned to the co-director, I'm like, hey man, you need a coach because I'm interested in doing something. So we'll see what happens.
Perfect. Yeah, they'll be lucky to have you for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's a different style of game because it's 5-on-5 instead of 4-on-4. But he also coaches the high school, one of the high school programs over here, and I'm secretly hoping to get on his staff at some point. Just to work with his crew on 4-on-4 because they went to the state semifinals last year. They kind of had a dip this year, but they had a very young team last year. Mm-hmm. So they're all juniors, sophomores and juniors this year. I think he only has still like 5 or 6 seniors, so still a young team. So we'll see. Like I said, they took a little bit of a dip, but they also had to play some tougher talent though too.
Yeah.
Some of the other teams that were young last year are now, pulling their weight. So we'll see. But it's like watching them do the dump and chase styles just drives me absolutely bonkers. And I'm like, come on, you got the talent. Why can't
you just send that puck backwards?
Yeah, you have the talent. You can make it, but I don't know if he realizes it. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he knows something that I don't know because I'm not seeing it at practice. But I'm just like, so it's what I said to him. I was like, hey man, I think my possession style of game that I'm accustomed to will be something. And he's like, well, what age group do you want to coach? And I go, well, I don't think I can coach the young ones because after coaching pro inline. So I'm just like, just throw something at me, and we'll make it work. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good experience. You're also, I mean, you're going to learn too at the same time. I learned a lot being behind the bench, that's for sure, about my own game and where to be and how to position stuff and how to see a breakout and everything else. So after all these years, that taught me a lot, just watching kids play a different style and watching guys address teams differently and stuff like that, and what they see and what I see and how that differs and everything else. It helps for sure.
Yeah, I know the other day when Colorado was playing, it would have been yesterday. I stopped the game. Like, I paused it because they ended the game. It was Saturday. I paused it toward the last 30 seconds when they had they pulled the goalie. They needed to score 2 goals or a goal, and Martin Natchez decided to make a pass instead of taking the shot. And I'm like looking at my wife and I'm going, look, this right here drives me nuts, because he had an opportunity to shoot the puck, and he right now I think because he's still trying to fit in with the new team, that he's just passing the puck. And it's like, no, bro, take the damn shot.
Yeah.
Put the puck on net. You have a hell of a shot. Put it on net. But instead, and their passing is phenomenal. I will say that, he's gelling and clicking really well. But when you can take the shot to, a low angled shot and get that rebound off to your wing that can bury it. You saw that with Detroit last night too. It was just like, come on, So
yeah, it's all those little things that we tend to miss all the time that you kind of pick up, and then when somebody else points it out, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
And then you just kind of adapt it into your own game or your own team or whatever it may be. Yeah, it's all good. It's all growing.
It really is. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I know you got to get ready for work. I got to get ready to go pick up my boy from school. But again, Russ, I can't thank you enough. When we get closer to the Wish Cup and State Wars and Arch and all that stuff, we're going to bring you back on. We're going to talk a little bit more about your roster and what you guys are expected to do. Where you guys want to finish, outside of, we expect to win the title. We want some realistic expectations, and we want to see how Roller Society is doing. So
perfect.
I'm looking forward to it, and I know you are too.
Yeah, I am. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Still worth it though. Oh
yeah, it's going to be great. So just building the game, growing the game. That's what we're about. So
that's right.
It'll be great. But thank you, Ben.
Yep, no problem. I'm Ben W. Stock. That's Russ Christopher. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this episode of GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, alongside Chris Greco. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe on all our platforms on YouTube and on Spotify. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Cheers.